down on the south end of the globe, then they started floating apart. But he couldn't prove how the plates moved, so everybody forgot about poor Wegener. Unfortunately, he froze to death on the Greenland ice in 1930. One of his measuring poles is still standing in Iceland, south of Reykjavik. It was not until in the 70s, and then actually I should mention Arthur Holmes, a British scientist, came up with the continental drift theory in 1940, but he couldn't either prove how the plates moved, so it was all forgotten. Then in 1961, a Canadian, John Tusa Wilson, didn't like the name John, so I will call him Tusa Wilson. He discovered the San Andreas Fault in California, a transformed boundary. And Harry Hess from the University of Pennsylvania and Robert Diaz from he was an oceanographer, they discovered when they were laying listening mechanism in the Atlantic for Russian submarines going down to Cuba. They discovered the ridges in the Atlantic, and they discovered also that the magnetic direction of the metals in the lava were different directions, either right, which is the north magnetic pole now, or reverse when it turned the last time. So then they came up with the plate tectonic theory, and you have a diverging boundary, a converging boundary, and transform boundaries. There are three boundaries between the major plates. Let me interrupt this plate tectonic talk a little while. Here you have one of 6 geothermal plants in Iceland. You see the pipes in the lava. They are from the drill holes. The drill holes, they could go down to 1,000, 2,000 or 3,000 meters. Then the steam and the water goes into the separator building, and when they have taken the bulk of the humidity out of the steam goes into the turbines and produces electricity, but the water goes to heat houses, or space heating. This is Reykjanes, and we have another one here in Reykjanes called Svartsengi, and then we have 4 others, 2 at the Lake Þingvallavatn, north and south, south at the end of Þingvallavatn, and north of the volcano at Hveragerði. And those of you who are going on the Golden Circle tour tomorrow, you will get information on those stations. And then we are now coming to the south part of Reykjanes and heading for Grindavik. And as I said, the volcanic eruption here at Reykjanes were mostly active or of course prior to the settlement, and also way back 700,000 years ago, and then from 1150 to about 1240 there was a lot of action here, and we can't expect volcanic eruptions at Reykjanes at any time. There is no guarantee. There's a small weather station there on the left. Everything is more or less computerized nowadays. 2 of our grandsons, we have 10 grandchildren, were staying with us a week ago. We were sitting in the living room, and all of a sudden I looked up, and there was dead silence. Nobody talking. Kate had her laptop doing something. She teaches during the winter senior citizens on computers how to obtain Skype, Facebook, Photoshop, etc., etc., etc. It's a voluntary work for the city of Reykjavik in this old folks home. And the 2 boys were sitting on the sofa, and both had their iPads in their laps, and I had my own So we were not talking at all. We were all on computers. This is modern times. So I said, what's going on in this area here? And so the plate tectonic theory, after Harry Hess, Robert Diaz and Tusa Wilson had sewn this all up, we have a pretty good situation of the 13 major plates on the Earth, and there are numerous other smaller ones, like the Repar Formation here east of us. And so now it's all very clear how the Earth is creating, how the lands are shaping. Greenland, for example, millions of years ago was at the equator and has moved north. It separated from Canada about 60 million years ago. And many millions of years ago there was a land bridge from Greenland through Iceland down to Shetland, Orkney and Scotland. But that's all drifted apart now. Now there was a question on Icelandic horses. The Icelandic horse came with the settlers around 870 or maybe a little bit before. Scientists don't agree on this anymore. It's actually a Norwegian horse. It comes from the Fjordane in Norway. And the Norwegian horse originated in Mongolia. So the Icelandic horse origin is Mongolian. It has 5 gates, which is rather unusual, probably because of the landscape here. We are not allowed to inbreed it or breed it with any other types or species of horses. Once an Icelandic horse goes out of Iceland, they can never come back.
Wow.
So the gates are small. It's a small walk. It's a trot. It's a tult, which is a specialty of the Icelandic horse, and it's galloping at a fast pace. And my wife, Kate, used to ride horses when she was younger and go on group tours around Iceland. And she just grew up or spent her summer with her grandmother on a farm in South Iceland. And so she's used to them. I never liked them. But I flew over the group all the time in my little plane if she needed something, newspapers, candy, or another set of clothes or something. I would fly over the group and drop it down. Free, of course, air service. Now there was a question about the fish. There are about 120 species of fish in the Icelandic waters. And there are only about 20 or so that have any commercial value. The cod, the haddock, the flounder, the halibut, sole, ocean perch, cabling, herring, mackerel, they are the most valuable ones. Lagustin, the small lobster, and so forth. They are of any commercial value. The rest is in the rivers. We have salmon and trout, and we have fish farms where they have salmon and trout. Salmon in the fish farms in the ocean, and trout farms on dry land. Fish used to be our main foreign income, but it is in the 3rd place now. We are approaching the town of Grindavik, a fishing town. I shouldn't even have to mention it anymore, they are all like that. And you see in the top of the mountain there, on the right side of the radio mast, how it's ripping apart. The rift is going right through this peninsula, tearing it apart and splitting Iceland in 2. But it's lava that fills it up again. The radio masts are remnants from the US Navy. In the olden days they had different navigation systems, LORAN, long range navigation, but the masts are now used by the Icelandic radio stations.